Good morning everyone and welcome back to our channel Learn Forward Feathercap. Today we will be understanding the chapter number 10 Mensuration of class 6th. Whenever we heard the word mensuration, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? What do you mean by mensuration? The meaning is hidden in the word itself. Mensuration is to measure something. If you measure your body weight, if you measure the length of this pen, if you measure how much water can be poured in your water bottle, to measure anything related to the word mensuration. Fine. So this chapter will be including all the geometrical concepts, including some shapes, their perimeter, their area. Fine. Let's start. Draw a rectangle or a square around the shape given below. Then find the perimeter of the rectangle or square you have drawn. For example, here we have drawn a rectangle around a bag. Then find the perimeter of the rectangle. Okay. So this is the activity which is asking us to find out the perimeter and area. You must have completed the concept of perimeter area in your earlier classes as well. So what is this shape? Tell me first. If we take it as a 2D shape, then it seems to be a circle, right? But if we take it as a 3D shape, it's a sphere. What is this particular shape? It seems us to be the kind of rectangle, right? How many sides are there in this shape? 5 sides are there. So it is a pentagon, right? Whenever we measure something, there is 3 things that we need to take care of. First is the dimensions. Our whole geometry start with a point. Whenever we start to draw anything, we start by drawing a point, right? Even if you are writing a alphabet A, so when you started with a point and then you drawn a line, right? So point is the first thing that we study in geometry. When many points join together, they form a line. Point is a 0-dimensional because point that does not have any length, breadth, height, nothing. When we talk about the line, it has 1 dimension. That means it has a length. A line does not have any breadth or height, it has a length. When we talk about many lines, these many lines, if you make a border of same, you will find a 2D shape. That means a shape which has a length and a shape which has a breadth. So this is the 2D shape. Now if we pile up some papers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they will form a cube or cuboid. That means the shape has the 3 dimensions. It has length, it has breadth, and it has height. So whenever we start with the chapter mensuration, first thing that is to measure. We start the measurement with the point, but it's a 0-dimensional. Then is length, which is 1-dimensional. Then it can be a regular square, rectangle, pentagon, anything, but it has a 2D shape. Next is 3D shape, which has length, breadth, and height. Fine. Our first concept is perimeter. Now what do you understand by perimeter? Perimeter, okay, before telling you the answer what is perimeter, how many of you are in daily practice of going to morning walk or evening walk? You must have gone to the parks, right? Most of the parks which we see nearby our houses are either rectangular or square in shape. There are some chances there might be another shape of parks. Let us take a rectangular shape. You take the round of the park that is made on the boundary of the park, right? This is the pathway for joggers to jog on the path that is being around the park. This is rectangle shape. What is perimeter? Perimeter is the total length of the boundary. Perimeter is the total length of boundary. Let's suppose the boy named Rajat start running from this point and he covers the boundary of the whole park, and when we measure it, this is the total 50 meter, this is 30 meter, this is again 50 meter, this is 30 meter. Now calculate and tell me what is the total distance he has covered. I'm counting till 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So how much distance he has covered? First he has covered 50 plus, then he has covered 30 plus, then he has again covered 50 and then he has again covered 30. So total distance when we add them is 160 meter. So 160 meter is the total distance of the boundary. So perimeter you can write down, the meaning of perimeter is total distance of the boundary. Fine. Now the question is, find the perimeter of each of the following figure. First question, this is the four-sided figure. What do we call the four-sided figure? It's a quadrilateral. What we call the three-sided figure? Triangle, right? So the perimeter is 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 5, 10, 10 plus 4, 14. So the answer of first question is 14 centimeter and our answer is correct. Let us do this part. Arrow 1, calculate. 4 centimeter, 1.5, 2.5, 2.5, 1.5, 4 and 1. I'm again counting till 5, try to add them all. 1, 2, 3, 4 and last 5. So how I am adding? 4 plus 4, 8, 1.5, 1.5, 3, 2.5, 2.5, 5 and at last 1. So what is the total? 8 plus 3, 11, 11 plus 5, 16, 16 plus 1, 17. So the perimeter of arrow question is 17 and our answer is correct. So this way you can calculate the total length of the boundary of any shape and you can find out the perimeter. Fine. Now let us see how is the formula of perimeter of rectangle is derived. A perimeter is a shape, a rectangle is a shape which has two length. This is the length, the longer side, and this is the breadth. It has two length and two breadth. So how is this formula derived? Whenever you want to find out the perimeter, we add length plus breadth, length plus breadth. Like in the previous example also we have done it. Now how many length are there? Two length. Then what I have done? Length plus length, 2 length. B plus B, 2B. Because repeated addition is called multiplication. Fine. Now 2 is being multiplied with both the numbers. What I have taken? We have taken 2 in common and this is length plus breadth. That means 2 times the length plus breadth is the perimeter of rectangle. Fine. Find out the perimeter of rectangle. If length is this, breadth is this. You just need to put the values in the formula and you will be able to find out the perimeter. Fine. There is one more example that is given to us. An agriculture field is rectangular in shape if the length is 250 meter and breadth is 150 meter. Find out the perimeter. Again we know the formula, 2 multiply L plus B. Just put the values and you will be able to find out the answer. Fine. Perimeter of a regular shape. Now regular shape. What do you mean by regular shape? Any shape which is drawn with the help of a line segments and all the lines are equal. If we talk about the square shape, how many sides the square has? 4. And all 4 sides are equal. So when all the sides are equal, we call it as a regular shape. Fine. So the perimeter of this, let's suppose the value of each side is 6, 6, 6 and 6 centimeter. So what is the perimeter? Add them all. 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. Answer is 24. So instead of adding them, what you can do? 6 is being added 4 times and repeated addition is called multiplication. That's why what you can do, 4 into 6, answer is 24. Right? So the perimeter of square is 4 into side. So the perimeter of a regular shape is 4 into side, where the 4 is number of sides in a shape. Next, it's a triangle. All 3 sides are equal. We have already studied. What do we call a triangle whose all sides are equal? Equilateral triangle, right? So the perimeter is A plus A plus A. How many A? 3. So the answer is 3 multiply A. Next, how many sides this shape has? 5. So the name is pentagon. How many A's are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we add the A 5 times, the perimeter is 5 into A. Similarly, when you don't know the number of sides, let's suppose if I say there is one park which has 20 sides. Let us imagine a park, big park, which has 20 sides, and the side, each side is of 80 meter. Each side is of 80 meter. So what is the perimeter? Perimeter is number of side multiply length of each side. So how many sides are there? 20, and the length of each side is 80. So the answer is 1600 meter. So the park which is having 20 sides, let's suppose, and the length of each side is 80 meter, the whole perimeter of the park is total 1600 meter. I hope the concept of perimeter of regular shape is clear to you. Now these are the some of the examples that are given to you similar to the concept that I have already told you. Now we have reached to the exercise. Find the perimeter of the following figure. I hope you can do it by yourself. We have done enough questions till now. Okay, let us do the 10th question over here. Find the cost of fencing a square garden. What do you mean by fencing? You must have seen the boundary that has been made around the park so that nobody can jump up from the wall. Instead, they should enter from the gate, right? Fencing is a security kind of, you must have seen steel wires, aluminum wires that are over there. The cost of fencing a square garden whose each side is 200 meter. It's a square garden. Whose each side is 200 meter. At a rate of rupees 15 per meter. So the value of fencing 1 meter wire is rupees 15. So first of all, we need to understand, we need to make a fencing on all 4 sides. So the perimeter of square is 4 into side. That means 4 into 200, answer is 800 meter. This is the whole perimeter that we need to fence. Now the cost of fencing 1 meter is rupees 15. Cost of fencing 1 meter. 1 meter wire is somewhere this measurement, right? So 1 meter wire is of 15. So the cost of 800 meter wire. One we already know, we want to find out of the more, we will multiply. 800 multiply 15, you will find out the answer 12000. So how many rupees you will spend? 12,000 rupees. Fine. So this way you will be able to do all the questions of this particular exercise. Our next concept is area. Now talking about the length of anything, you can put the scale or take the inchy tape or anything and you can calculate the length. But how do we calculate the area? Because area is the inside part of anything. To understand how to calculate the area, let me give you a very simple example. You must have seen the chessboard, right? What happens in chessboard? Let's suppose this is our chessboard. Okay. You must have seen the shape of the chessboard is square. And how many lines are there? Total 8 divisions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I tell you what is the area, how do we calculate the area? We count the number of squares that can fit in. How many square can be fit in that particular area? We count the squares. So how many squares are there in this line? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many squares are there in this line? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many squares are there in total? If you calculate the total, the answer will be 64. How I have calculated so fast? 8 multiply 8, answer is 64. So how do we understand the concept of area? How many squares can be inserted in that particular plane surface is the area. So how many squares are there? 64. And let's suppose the dimension of each square is 1 centimeter. So the area is 64 centimeter square. That means 64 squares can come of 1 centimeter each in this particular chessboard. So this is the concept of area, the amount of surface enclosed by the figure, and how do we count it? By the squares that we can draw. Fine. Now if you want to calculate the area of this particular leaf, you need to put this leaf on a, you can say, graph paper or a grid paper, where you will divide this shape in some small squares, and then you will calculate how many squares are there in this particular figure. Fine. Find the area of the following figure. How many squares are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Answer is 9. We can calculate the area of this one. Okay, let us see this. The full square, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is there. These two are half square. Two half square combined together and form one. So this is the fifth one and this is the sixth one. So 2 plus 4 equal to 6. So what is the area of this figure is? 6 squares. So what you need to do, you actually need to count the number of square in each shape. Let us do in this one. For the G part, let us take the example which is explained over here. How many full squares are there? Let us see how many full squares are there. 1, 2, 3. If you observe clearly, there are no more squares which are fully included in this leaf. So how many full squares are there? 3. Sorry, here. More than half square. How many more than half square are there? 1, 2 and 3. Whichever square which is more than half we consider to be the full squares, we write them 3. Half square, exactly half square. So this can be counted 1, and I can't see more. Let us see. 2 half squares are there according to them. They might have calculated this one also. So there are how many half squares are there? 2. So area of square is 3 into 1, 1. Those squares who are more than half, we have taken them as a whole, 1. Those who are actually half square, we have considered them as 2 multiplied by half, because 2 squares were there which are exactly half, and which are less than half, we are just ignoring them, they are non-existing. So the area of this particular answer is 7 centimeter square. So there are actually total 7 square that you can make in this leaf. Fine. Area of rectangle. Okay. Area of rectangle. I have already told you about the square. What happened in the square part? Let me tell you. What I have done to calculate the area of this particular chessboard, side multiply with side. So the area of square is side multiply side. Just write it down. The area of square, how do we calculate it fast? 8 multiply 8. The answer is 64. The area of square is side into side. Now the area of rectangle. Now the rectangle is given to us where the length is 7 cm. Okay, 5. It must be 5. It's written 7 over here by mistake. The length is 6 centimeter and the breadth is 5. So how do we calculate the area? How many squares are there? We are not supposed to calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Just multiply them. 6 5s are 30. That means 30 squares are there in this particular rectangle. So the area of rectangle is length multiply breadth. Write down. Length multiply breadth. The length was 6, breadth was 5. Answer is 30 centimeter square. Fine. Area of square, I have already told you, side into side, we can find it out. Okay, let us do this part, B part over here. Find the area of a rectangle whose sides are 2 kilometer and 300 meter. In the previous chapter, I have already told you, we only add, subtract, multiply, divide the numbers when they have the same unit. It's 200 kilometer, it's 300 meter. Now it's totally your choice whether you want to convert both the number in kilometer or in meter. Fine. As of now, I'm converting both of them in meter. 300 is already in meter. How many meters are there in 2 kilometer? 2 kilometer, use the word khada dilega cm. How many jumps from kilometer to meter? 3. That means the length is 2 into 1000, 2000 meter, and the breadth is 300 meter. So the area of rectangle is length into breadth. Length is 2000, breadth is 300. Answer is 6, 3 to the 6 and 5 zeros. So the answer is 6 lakh meter square. 6 lakh meter square. Fine. First, you need to convert the length and breadth into the same unit. Then you can apply the formula and calculate the perimeter or area, whatever you want to. Let us do example number 15. What is the total cost of tiling? Tiling means to spread the tiles in your room. Now tell me, where do you spread the tile? On the boundary of your room or inside, the area inside the walls? Right? We spread the tiles inside the room area. What is the cost of tiling a rectangular piece of land 500 meter long and 200 meter wide? To spread the tiles, we need to cover the area of the floor. So the area is 500 multiplied by 200. Answer is 1 lakh square meter. So how many 1 meter square? 1 meter square, the square which are this big, almost. How many squares are there? 1 lakh, this much big square we need to tile up. And the cost of 1 square meter, okay, per 100 square kilometer. That means for 100 squares, the cost is rupees 7. So the cost of tiling 100 square kilometer is 7. So 100 we know, first we'll calculate for the 1. For the 1, the answer will be 7 upon 100. We know the answer of 100 square meter. For the 1 we will divide. The answer is 7 by 100. Now we want to calculate the cost of tiling for 1 lakh. We know the answer of 1. We want to calculate for the more. What we'll do? Multiply. 7 by 100 multiply with 1 lakh. Answer is 7,000. So what is the total cost of tiling the floor is 7,000 rupees. Fine. So find the area of this figure. You can calculate the number of squares that are full, that are more than half, or that are half. And you can simply ignore the squares which are less than half. So I believe this is the all from this particular chapter. You have completed the concept of what is perimeter, what is area, what is perimeter of square, perimeter of area, sorry, perimeter of rectangle, what is area of square, what is area of rectangle. I hope the concepts are clear to you. You can again watch the video if you want to again understand the concept. You can practice all these questions by yourself, but one thing you need to make sure while calculating your answers, that before multiplying, adding, divide or subtracting, you have to convert each number into same unit. If one thing is given in kilogram and another thing is given in gram, you have to convert both of them either in gram or either in kilogram. Fine. And you can simply apply the formulas and calculate the answers. Before winding up with this chapter, let us do 15th question. Find the area of the following combined figures. Now this shape is not square, this shape it is not rectangle, it is somewhere combination of both. So what we will do, we will try to divide it by drawing some line and divide it in two shapes. If I divide it this way, So this is my first rectangle and this is my second rectangle. Fine. So the area of this rectangle, this is 2, this is 3. 2 3s are 6. Length into breadth. Area of this is calculated. 5 into 1. 5 ones are 5. So the total area of this figure is 11. 5 plus 6, 11. Same way you can divide this figure like this and this figure like this. Fine. And you can calculate the area and then add them all, you will find the answer. I hope you will practice well for this particular chapter. See, this chapter actually seems very easy, but you need to understand the practical approach of the chapter, plus you need to do lot of practice so you don't make the silly mistakes. Do practice well, take care of yourself, and happy learning. Enjoy your day.